Okay, then today's topic is polynomials, right? So that is the, so you have to know today our talk, the outlines are: what do you mean by polynomials, different
Yeah.
examples of polynomials, zeros of polynomials, what is the
Yeah.
geometrical meaning of roots or zeros of an equation, and graphs of
Yeah.
polynomial functions, and division algorithm, and lastly we'll learn remainder and factor theorem, also some relations between roots and coefficients, zeros and coefficients. Okay, that is the
Yeah.
target of our today.
Mhm.
So let me move to very fast. What is the polynomials? So look at that: an expression of the form a naught
Yeah.
x to the power n plus a1 x to the power n minus 1,
Mhm.
etc. An minus 1, the suffix is a naught, a1, an minus 1, an. So what is the highest degree of x? That is n. That is n. What is the highest
Mhm.
power of x? That is n. So this is called
And
nth degree polynomial. There is no zero actually equal to zero. That means it is an equation, but it is not an equation. It's a polynomial
mm,
expression where a naught, a1, an are given numbers. It may be real, it can be complex. I will tell
okay.
you later on what are the complex number. So n
Mhm.
is a non-negative integer. Look at that. What is n? What about n? N is a non-negative integer, and x is a variable, is called a polynomial in x. So this
Mm,
expression is
okay.
called polynomial in x. And the condition, if a naught not equal to 0, the polynomial is said to be degree n. So what is the condition? That this polynomial represents a polynomial of degree n. The only condition is that a naught not equal to 0. Got it?
Yeah.
A naught not equal to 0, because the highest coefficient will be 0. If a
Mhm.
naught equal to 0, then the coefficient of x to the power n will be 0, then the whole term will be 0, then it will reduce to x to the power n minus 1, but that is not our target. So if a polynomial is said to be of degree n, its coefficient should not be 0. Its coefficient should not be
Mhm.
0. So that is the concept of polynomials. Okay,
Yeah.
let us now go to different examples of polynomials. So look at that. What are the polynomials of degree 0? That means a constant. A constant. Suppose I write 2. Then it is a polynomial of degree 0 because there is no x.
Mhm.
X to the power
Yeah.
0 is actually 1. So you can write this 2x to the power 0. So only a constant is a polynomial of degree 0 represents. Okay. What
Mm,
are
okay. Yeah.
linear polynomial? Linear polynomials are a naught x. Look at that, the power of x is 1. So linear
Yeah.
polynomials can be, and look at that, the highest coefficient is not equal to 0. Coefficient of the highest power of x is not equal to 0 always. So
Mhm.
linear polynomial a naught x plus a1. What is a
Yeah.
quadratic polynomial? Quadratic means it must have a power 2, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And what is a cubic polynomial? Power 3. And the
Mhm.
biquadratic polynomial, that is a power 4, a naught x to the power 4. And you have a concept of functions, so we can write this is a polynomial function. How will you write the polynomial function? A naught x to the power n plus
Mhm.
a1 x to the power n minus 1 plus etc., that is equal to an. So this is a polynomial function. So that means if
Yeah.
you give the input, you will get the output, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So
Mhm.
that is the
Yeah.
so that is why before polynomials we have learned the function. We have learned the
Yeah.
function. What is the function actually? Function or transformation or mapping. So polynomial function is given by this expression. So these are the examples of polynomials, different polynomials. Polynomial of
Yeah.
degree 0, linear polynomial, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial, and biquadratic polynomial. Okay.
Yeah.
Next,
Mhm.
what is the zeros of polynomials? Zeros of polynomials means, I already explained what is fx, fx is suppose a naught x to the power n plus a1 x to the power n minus 1 plus etc n. This is your fx. If somehow f alpha equal to 0 for some value alpha, then alpha is said to be a root or 0 of the quadratic polynomial. 0 root or 0 of the equation fx equal to 0, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Then alpha, so if alpha be a value of x for which fx becomes 0, that is if f alpha equal to 0, then alpha is said to be a root or 0 of the equation fx is equal to 0.
Okay, so 0 can be alpha can be the root of 0 or it can be 0, right?
Yes, alpha can be root or 0 if f alpha equal to 0. So let me give you one example. Suppose fx equal to x square minus 2x plus 1. So what is your f1? f1 will be 0.
1 squared minus 2 plus 1.
f1 will be 0. So 1 is a 0 of this polynomial fx. What we write? 1 is a 0. It's a very simple expression. Is a 0 of fx. Right? fx.
Yeah.
So alpha is a root or 0 of fx. Okay. So that was the concept of roots and 0. Now let's see what is the geometrical meaning. What is the geometrical meaning of fx? Zeros. What are the geometrical meaning of zeros? Let me see. Let me check. So you have a linear equation f of fx is equal to x plus 3. Okay. Let me draw. Let me draw this is a linear equation, right?
Yeah.
So this is your coordinate axis. So y equal to I want to draw y equal to x plus 3. I want to draw, this is a straight line, right? This is a straight line. Look at that. This is a straight line. Y equal to x plus 3. Y equal to x plus 3 is a straight line. So it will be like this. It will be like this. So this is your minus 3. What is the 0 of this polynomial? If you consider it is 0, so x equal to minus 3 is the 0 of this polynomial. Right? Got it?
Yeah.
So what is the geometrical meaning? What is the geometrical meaning? So we can see that the curve cuts the x-axis at x equal to minus 3, where the value of y equal to 0, or we can say x plus 3 equal to 0 when value of x is minus 3. Thus x equal to minus 3, which is a root of the equation, is actually a value of x, where graph of y equal to fx intersects the x-axis. Once again I repeat, x plus 3 equal to 0, that is actually a value of x, where graph of y equal to fx, that is y equal to x plus 3, intersects the x-axis. This is your x-axis. Am I clear with this explanation?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Next, I shall talk about quadratic one. What is the quadratic expression? X square minus x minus 2. So can you factorize this x square minus x minus 2? Yes, it is factorizable. So the factors will be x minus 2 into x plus 1. Right? So x minus 2, x plus 1. So your diagram will be like this is your x-axis once again. This is your y-axis. Now you have, what are the factors? Just look at the factors. X plus 1, x minus 2. If it is equal to 0, then the values of x will be minus 1 and 2.
And minus 1.
Yeah. So you have 2, you have minus 1 and 2. So this side you have minus, because this is your origin, this is 2, and it will be like this. Sorry, it will be like this. This is your
Oh,
2
yeah, sure.
suppose, and this is your minus 1. So it will be like this. It's a parabola. It's called parabola actually. This is the graph
Parabola,
of y equal to fx. So it has two zeros. One is minus 1, another one is 2. So the curve parabola, or the second, or the quadratic polynomial, cuts the x-axis at 2 points, intersects the x-axis at 2 points. Those 2 points are the zeros of this polynomial. Those 2 points are the zeros of this polynomial. So 2 values actually that will intersect. That means zeros actually gives you the values on the x-axis, where it cuts the x-axis, where the curve cuts the x-axis. Am I clear?
Yep. Yeah.
Next, I will show you the cubic polynomial. Look at the cubic polynomial. Cubic polynomial, cubic. The cubic polynomial is given by x cube minus 6x square plus 11x minus 6. So if you factorize this, let me factorize this one here. X cube minus 6x square plus 11x minus 6. So if you factorize this, you will get x minus 1, x minus 2 and x minus 3.
How do you factorize?
Yes?
How do you factorize that?
Okay, you want to know? Then do by vanishing method. Just try one value for x. Suppose x equal to 1. Is it putting x equal to, suppose randomly you are choosing a point. Suppose I am starting from 1. So x equal to 1, what is the value of the expression? If you put x equal to 1,
1 minus 6 plus 11 minus 6.
0.
Is it 0? 1 minus 6. So 1 minus 6 is minus 5 plus 11 is
It will be 0 if you put x equal to 1.
okay.
Because 11
Okay.
plus 1, 12, minus 6 minus 6, 12. It will be 0. It will be 0.
Oh yeah, it should be 0.
So x minus 1 is a factor of this expression, right? That is by factor theorem. So you write thrice x minus 1. You have x cube.
Okay.
You have x cube. So what is the multiplying factor should be here? X square to make it x cube, right?
Yeah.
So it will be, if you expand, you will get x cube minus x square. What should be here? Minus 5. Because you need more 5 to make it minus 6.
Oh yeah.
Plus 5x. This is called vanishing method. Plus you need 11. Plus 11, but you have 5. So you need 6 more. Tell me, is that clear?
Yeah.
So now from the last term, last step, you take x minus 1 and whatever remain inside, it's a quadratic. And you know how to do the quadratic factorization. That is by middle term Beck, right? So it will give you x minus 2, x minus 3. Have you got that? Have you
Yeah.
understood?
Yeah, understood. Yeah.
Okay. Now let me draw the curve. Let me draw the. So you have 3 points. You got 3 points. 1, 2, and 3. You got 3 points. So it will cut the curve at exactly 3 points.
Oh, okay.
This curve will be like this. Now the question is why this goes down and why this goes up. I will explain later. Right now in this lecture I will explain. But try to understand what I mean to say. What are the zeros? What are the zeros of the polynomial? Actually zeros are the polynomial are the values of x. where the curve cuts the x-axis, where the curve cuts the x-axis. Am I clear?
Yep.
So you got 3 points for this cubic polynomial. All are real values. So you got 3 points. In these 3 points, the curve y equal to x minus 1, x minus 2, x minus 3, that is the cubic polynomial, cuts at these points on the x-axis. So these are the values. Okay?
Yep.
So that was the explanation. That was the target. What was my target? My target was what is your what is the geometrical meaning of roots of an equation? The geometrical meaning already explained, right, with the factorization. Okay. Next, now the question will arise, why the curve goes upward, why the curve falls down, why the curve rises, why this is happening? Look at that, the rule is given here so that you can draw your own curve, you can approximately draw the curve. So if n is odd and the leading coefficient n is positive, then the graph falls to the left and rises to the right. So if n is odd and the leading coefficient n is positive, so let me draw what is explained. Once again you saw, if n is odd, leading coefficient n is positive, then the graph falls to the left and rises to the right. Right. So
Yep.
n is odd. So let us have a cubic polynomial, right? This is odd and a greater than 0. This is the polynomial function, right? How will you draw this? Look at that, a is positive and n is odd, n is the 3, n is the highest power of x, that is 3. So it said n is odd, leading coefficient n is positive. Now let me draw the diagram. The diagram will be like this. Let me draw the axis first. This is the coordinate axis. So it will be like this. It falls to the left and rises to the right. It falls to the left,
Yeah.
rises to the right, and it is a cubic. That is why 3 intersection points. Am I clear with this diagram? The same thing I explained here also. Look at that. That was a cubic polynomial. X cube, leading coefficient 1 is positive and the n is order 3, that is odd. So it goes left, it's left and rises to the right. Okay, falls to the left, rises to the right. That was the explanation why this is goes this and goes up this. So that is the explanation here also. It falls to the left, rises to the right. Am I clear?
Yep.
Okay. Next, look at the next
yeah.
point. Next point, if n is odd and the leading coefficient n is negative, then it will be of opposite nature. Then it will be of opposite nature. That is, graph rises to the left and falls to the right. So suppose if a is negative, suppose a is negative, that is the leading coefficient is negative. So what will be the graph? What will be the graph? That will be
Would
like
it be
this.
rising?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So this will be
Rising
like
first and
this.
then going down. Up.
So rising on the left, rises in the left, rises in the rises in the left and goes down on the right, falls to the right, right? And you look at that,
Yep.
3, intersection points. Okay, 3 intersection points. 3 intersection points. So that is the next. Let's go to the fourth one. Let's go to the fourth one. Let's go to the third one. Sorry. If n is even, and if n is even, and the leading coefficient n is positive. So if n is even now, and the leading coefficient is positive, then graph rises to the left and to the right. Both the side it will rises, right? So let me draw the diagram. Let me draw the diagram. Yeah. So let me add here. Suppose the graph is ax is 4, ax to the power 4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e. So it's a 4th degree polynomial, right? So 4th degree polynomial, and if a is positive, the leading coefficient is positive, it must have 4 zeros. It must have 4 zeros. So what will be the diagram? Let me draw the axis first.
It will have 4 points. It
Yes.
will have 4 intersections. Yeah.
Yeah. So it will be like this. It will be like this. You can check.
Yeah.
It will like this. It will rises to the left and rises to the right, and it must have 4 zeros. So in this case I am showing you the real zeros, no complex. I am showing you the real intersection with the x-axis, right? Real
Yep.
intersection with the x-axis. So this is the case when the leading coefficient is greater than 0 and the degree of the polynomial is even. Let me now maths. Let me now show you n is even, n is negative, then the graph
Yeah.
falls to the left and to the right. So
Yeah.
it will just like opposite nature. If a is negative, that is the leading coefficient is negative, it will be like this, right?
For which if a if a is
And
small if a is smaller than -1, the 0, right?
right, is less than 0, so it's a negative. Then the leading coefficient is negative, it is of opposite nature, and it falls to the left and falls to the right. Both the side it will goes like this, and there will be 4 real zeros. So I'm in all the diagram I'm showing the real zeros, real intersection with the x-axis, right? So these
Yeah.
are the concepts of how to draw the graph and how to get the idea of the graphs of polynomial functions. What about the nature, if n is odd, if n is even, and if the leading coefficient is positive or negative. So these is the cases. And also I have shown you how to draw the linear, quadratic and cubic polynomials, and also the biquadratic polynomials, that is of order 4. So similarly you can explain the 5th degree polynomial, 6th degree polynomial, and so on. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay. Now next let us explain what is division algorithm. What is division algorithm? So before I make you understand the division algorithm, just try to understand. If I divide 5 by 2, if I divide 5 by 2, 2 is the divisor, 5 is the dividend, what will be the quotient? Quotient will be 2. Then what is the remainder? Remainder is 1. So what is the relationship between this? 5 equal to 2 into 2 plus 1, that is dividend equal to divisor into quotient, divisor into quotient times quotient plus remainder. Am I
Yeah.
clear?
Yeah.
So that is the usual relationship in real calculation. So for polynomials also we have the same type of thing. For polynomial, suppose you are dividing fx by some polynomial gx and your quotient is qx, and after that your remainder is rx, then what is the relationship between these three? The relationship will be fx equal to gx times qx plus rx. Am I clear?
Yep.
So that,
Yep.
yeah, so that is the division algorithm. You look at that, it's the same thing is writing over here, and it is given that where the degree of if fx is a polynomial of degree n and gx, that means the divisor, gx is the divisor, gx is the divisor whose degree is m. Obviously the divisor, degree of divisor should be less than or equal to the dividend, right? So its degree is m, so n greater equal to m, and the relationship is this. Then quotient will be of degree n minus m and the remainder should be less than m. Degree of the remainder should be less than m. So this is the division algorithm. This is the division algorithm. Lot of applications are there. I will show you the applications. You can see the application here also. Okay. Next, let me explain. Next theorem is remainder theorem and the factor theorem. What is the remainder theorem? If a polynomial fx is divided by x minus alpha, the remainder is f alpha. If a polynomial is divided by x minus alpha, the remainder is f alpha. So it's by division algorithm. Can we write this expression if r is the remainder? Suppose, okay, let me show you, don't worry. So let's see, fx is divided by x minus alpha. Let me divide x minus alpha, let me divide fx by x minus alpha, and the remainder is r, and the quotient is qx. Clear? So what is the relationship? What is the relationship between these three? Fx equal to what you can write? Tell me. X minus
fx
alpha into qx times x plus r. X minus alpha times qx, because qx is the quotient, so x minus alpha into quotient plus remainder, that will give you the fx. Am I clear?
Yeah.
Absolutely clear?
Absolutely, yeah.
So that is the relationship. Now you look at that, it's divided by x minus alpha. So what will be the value of alpha? What will be the value of alpha? F alpha. If you substitute alpha, because this is a function, if x equal to alpha, what will happen? Tell me.
So the remainder will be f alpha, right?
Yes. No, what will happen on the right hand side? What will happen? Why? What you will get in the right hand side? You will get alpha minus alpha, q alpha plus r.
Oh yeah.
So this will be 0. You will get simply r. So look at that. Your remainder is given by f alpha. Your remainder is given by f alpha. Your remainder is given by f alpha. So that is the theorem. That is the theorem, that your remainder is given by f alpha. Your remainder is given by f alpha. That is the remainder theorem. And what is the factor theorem? If fx be a polynomial, then if x minus alpha is a factor, of fx if and only if this symbol is actually if and only if. This is written as if and only if. That is the necessary and
Okay.
sufficient condition. If alpha is equal to 0. That means, what do you mean by that? That is, if x minus alpha is a factor, x minus alpha is a factor, if x minus alpha is a factor, if alpha equal to 0, and conversely, if alpha equal to 0, x minus alpha is a factor. X minus alpha is a factor. Am I clear?
Yeah.
So that is why the condition is if and only if. If x minus alpha is a factor, if alpha is equal to 0. If alpha is equal to 0, x minus alpha is a factor. Clear?
Yeah.
So this is the remainder theorem and this is the factor theorem. Okay? Next.
Yeah.
What is, now let me explain quadratic polynomial or quadratic equation, better to say. So this is actually quadratic polynomial. If you say it is a quadratic equation, then it will be like this: fx equal to 0. It will be like this: quadratic equation fx is equal to 0. Equal to 0 represents the equation actually, and for
Yes.
polynomials you have to write only fx equal to ax square plus bx plus c. Okay, it's a quadratic and a should not be 0. A should not be 0, right? A should not be 0. Now do you know what is b square minus 4ac is called? What is b square minus 4ac in quadratic?
It's a
Discriminant.
the discriminant.
Yes,
Yes.
very good. So that's the discriminant. So actually quadratic represents the parabola actually. Quadratic represents the parabola. So your discriminant
Yeah.
is given by, actually if you want to solve, let me show you. Yeah, this is the case. Roots of the equation are given by, so your polynomial is, your quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equals to 0. The roots of these equations are given by, you look at that, x equal to minus b plus minus root over b square minus 4ac by 2a. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, this root over b square minus 4ac is called the discriminant of the equation. This is called discriminant.
Yeah.
B square minus 4ac root over. Okay?
Mhm. Yeah.
So let me explain the cases for the quadratic, because this is the most important.
Yeah.
Okay, so look at that. If a greater than 0, d greater than 0, okay, a greater than 0, d greater than, d means the discriminant. Fx has
Yeah.
two real roots, alpha beta. If a is positive, if a is positive and d is positive, that is the discriminant under the root. Actually this is not, the root over is not, should not be there. D is only simply this b square minus 4ac.
Yep.
This is the discriminant actually, not the square root. So d equal to b square minus 4ac. Now the first case is, if a greater than 0, that is the leading coefficient is greater than 0. What is the leading coefficient?
So
A. So A
Yeah.
is positive and the discriminant is positive, then fx has two real roots, alpha beta. And if alpha
Yes.
less than, it can be alpha less than beta or beta maybe less than alpha, that depends. And if a less than, okay, let me show you the diagram. First case, what is the first case? Leading coefficient positive discriminant is also positive, so it has two real roots. The diagram will be like this. It's a parabola and it's a quadratic polynomial, and it's even power, so it will rises up, this side also rises up, right? And you
Yeah.
have two real roots cut at exactly 2 points, that is alpha and beta. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is the case, alpha and beta,
Yeah.
and this D is positive, A is positive. Next, if A less than 0
Yeah.
and D less than 0, fx also has A less than 0 but D greater than 0, D is positive, as two real roots alpha beta again. So the diagram will be, what will be the case if A less than 0 but discriminant is positive? What will be the diagram?
Mm.
It will be like this.
Will it be the opposite?
Yes.
Yeah, like this, exactly. Yeah.
It's alpha
Yeah.
beta. And look at that, beta is more than alpha. In my diagram, beta is more than alpha, because you are moving along the x axis of the right hand side, you are moving in this direction. This direction x is positive, so beta is more than alpha. Am I clear with the diagram?
Yeah.
So you know, I already explained that a picture worth 1,000 words. So picture meant everything. So let me now give you, if A equal to 0 and A greater than 0, sorry, A greater than 0 and the discriminant is 0, what will happen? What will happen? Let's see. Discriminant is equal to 0 means B square equal to 4AC, right? But A is positive.
Yeah.
A is positive. So the third case, A is positive, D is equal to 0. So that will be like, you look at that. Yeah. It's touching the x-axis only. It's touching the x-axis. That means x-axis is the tangent. It's like a tangent. And the roots are alpha equal to beta. Roots are equal in this case. Roots are equal. So whenever discriminant is equal to 0 and the leading coefficient is greater than 0, the roots are equal. The roots are, you can say, the roots are equal, real and equal. Am I clear? Have you understood?
Yeah. I've understood. Yeah.
And the equal roots are alpha equal to beta. So that is the third case. That is the third case. Let's move on. Let's move on. Okay, what will happen?
Yeah.
What will happen if A less than 0 and D equal to 0? That is, the leading coefficient
Oh,
is
less.
negative and D is
Okay.
equal to 0. So that will be opposite
Yes.
nature of this.
Yeah. It will be touching the 0, but it will be on the opposite side.
Yeah. So
On the fourth thing.
D equal to 0. So it will be like this. Okay. Alpha equal to
Yeah.
beta. This is x axis. This is y axis. Okay. And look at that. Function is less than equal to 0. Function is less than equal to 0. The whole curve is less than equal to 0. You can see that. This is your fx curve. What is your fx? Fx is the quadratic polynomial. And your quadratic polynomial wholly lies below the x-axis. It lies below the x-axis. That means it's negative. And in this case, your fx is lies above the x-axis. So it's greater equal to 0. It touches the x equal to 0 or positive. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that is the concept actually. Now let me explain the fifth one. Fifth one. a greater than 0 and d less than 0. A greater than 0 and d less than 0. So what will happen? D less than 0 means its discriminant is negative. Inside the root is negative. That means complex or imaginary. It is complex or imaginary, right? Let me
Yeah.
show you. Let me show you. So what I was talking about, the fifth one. Fifth one is leading coefficient is positive and d is negative. D is negative. D is negative. So this will like this. A is positive, so it will be like this. There is no intersection or touching. It cannot intersect. It cannot touch. There is no intersection. The roots are imaginary in this case. You can see there is no roots. There is no real roots. There is no real roots. And fx greater than 0.
Yeah.
So in this case we say the roots are, or zeros are imaginary, roots are complex, imaginary, right? In this case also you have a d less than 0, so roots are complex. Okay, so what will be the diagram in the last case? A less than 0, d less than 0. So your roots will
It's
be
just the opposite, right?
right. So this is the thing,
Yeah.
this will be the thing. So this is your x-axis and this is your fx.
Yeah.
Right. So these are the important concept of quadratic polynomials. Especially I was talking about quadratic polynomials. Okay. Next. Yeah. Next I will talk about relationship between the zeros and coefficient of a quadratic polynomial. So if alpha and beta be the zeros of a quadratic polynomial fx equal to ax square plus bx plus c, by factor theorem we have already learned that by factor theorem x minus alpha and x minus beta are the factors of fx, right? That makes sense. If alpha beta be the zeros of quadratic polynomial, it is given that alpha and beta be the zeros of quadratic polynomial, then by factor theorem x minus alpha and x minus beta are the factors of fx, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because look at the
It is,
factor
yeah.
theorem once again. If you want to see the factor theorem, go to the factor theorem once again. Yeah, this is the factor theorem. If fx be a polynomial, then x minus alpha is a factor of fx if and only if f alpha is equal to 0. That is, alpha is a 0 of the polynomial, x minus alpha is a factor. If x minus alpha is a factor, alpha is a 0 of the polynomial. Am I clear? Right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Sir.
alpha and beta be the zeros of quadratic polynomial, so it is by factor theorem x minus alpha and x minus beta are the factors of fx. So we can write fx is equal to this k into x minus some constant. K is some positive constant, positive or negative maybe. K is some real constant, x minus alpha into x minus beta. Clear? Fx can be written as like this. Fx can be, suppose for example, if you want to explain the explanation, let me explain. Suppose x minus 2 and x minus 3, what will be the quadratic? X square minus 5x plus c. So this is the quadratic polynomial, okay, and it is given. Suppose you don't know the quadratic polynomial, it is given, let alpha equal to 2 and beta equal to 3 are the zeros, of the polynomial, zeros of fx, then what will happen? f2 equal to 0, f3 equal to 0, right? Right? Zeros means so that from the definition. So it means that x minus 2 is a factor and x minus 3 is a factor. Am I clear? From factor theorem. X minus 2 and x minus 3 are the factors. Is it clear? X minus 2 and x minus 3 are the factors. Am I clear? So you can write fx equal to k into x minus 2 into x minus 3. Okay, so that I was writing here. That is why it is written here that fx equal to k into x minus alpha into x minus beta. K is a constant. K is a constant. So what was your fx? Fx is ax square plus bx plus c. So we can write, if you expand the right hand side inside the curly brackets, you can write ax square plus bx plus c equal to k into curly bracket x square minus alpha plus beta into x. Okay, if you want more explanation on that, so your fx is k into x minus alpha into x minus beta, and that is equal to ax square plus bx plus c equal to k into x square. If you expand this thing, if you multiply this, you will get x square minus alpha plus beta into x plus alpha beta. So you can comparing coefficient of like powers of x from both sides. Comparing
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
comparing
Okay.
comparing like powers of x
Yeah.
from both sides. Here you have coefficient of x square is a, and in this case you have coefficient of x square as k. Not only a, yes, k, and yes, coefficient of x square is k, right? And you have the coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x? Coefficient of x is minus of alpha plus beta into k, left hand side, and right hand side you have b. So what is the value of k? If you write the value of k is a, so minus alpha plus beta into a, so it will give you alpha plus beta equal to minus b by a. That is the relationship between roots and coefficient, zeros and coefficient. That is the relationship between zeros and coefficients. Okay, sum of the zeros, that implies sum of the zeros equal to minus b by a, right? So look at that, comparing the coefficients. I have explained here in the presentation, comparing the coefficients of like powers of x from both sides, we'll get a equal to k, b equal to minus of k into alpha plus beta, c equal to k into alpha beta, right? If you check the constant term of the left hand side will be c, and constant term on the right hand side will be alpha beta k. So what is your alpha beta? Product is given by c by k, and c by k is a. So this is the product of the zeros. So product of the zeros is let me save the document. Just a second, otherwise there might be some problem with that saving. Today is 26th. Okay, so product of the zeros will be, what is the product? Product of the zeros will be alpha beta equal to C by A. Product of the zeros is equal to C by A. So these are the rules actually for calculating problems. Sum of the zeros is equal to minus B by A. Product of the zeros is equal to C by A. So you got that? This is the comparing the coefficients of like powers of x from both sides. Okay, and I have written this in a more formal way. Yeah, this is the sum of the zeros. Look at that, minus B by A. This is the product of the zeros, C by A. And what is A? A is the coefficient of x square. What is A?
So and A is the
Coefficient of x
coefficient of
square.
both x-
And what
x
is,
square, sorry, yeah.
and coefficient of what is B? Coefficient of x. Coefficient of
Yes.
x. And what is C? Constant term. Coefficient of x to the power
Yeah.
0. X to the power 0.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the important results that you got from the here, that you have from here. This calculation shows you the results.
Yeah.
And also there is a note that if you know only the zeros, you don't know the polynomial, if you know the zeros only, it is given that alpha beta are the zeros of the quadratic polynomial fx, then how will
Yeah.
you find out the function? How will you find out the polynomial? This is the formula. This is the formula. The formula is k into x square minus sum of the zeros into x plus product of the zeros. That we have from here, this concept. That we have from this concept, factor theorem and all that. So you have a ready formula for solving problems. If you don't know the polynomial, if you know the zeros only, how will you find out the polynomial? You can be find out by this, fx equal to, okay, got it?
Yeah.
Next,
Yeah.
I will talk about cubic polynomial. So for cubic polynomial, there will be 3 zeros, alpha, beta, gamma. So there will be 3 factors, x minus alpha, x minus beta, x minus gamma. And fx is given by this. Okay, x will be given by this because you have 3 factors. And similarly, you can work out equating the like powers of x from both sides, and you can get the relationship between root zeros and the coefficient, and that is given by this. Look at that. Sum of the zeros is equal to minus b by a. Product of the zeros, sum of the product 2 taken at a time, c by a, and product of 3 roots equal to minus d by a. Alternately, you have plus minus. This is minus, this is plus, this is again negative. Okay, this is about your cubic. Now let me show you the last one, the biquadratic case, and this is the last relation. This is the quadratic polynomial. Okay, for biquadratic, what is your biquadratic? Biquadratic is ax to the power 4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e. This is your fx. So you have 4 zeros, right? You have
Yeah.
4 zeros. So the zeros are alpha, beta, gamma, delta. So what will be your fx then? What will be your fx? There will be 4 factors by factor theorem: x minus alpha, x minus beta, x minus gamma, x minus delta, right? So it can be written as k into x minus alpha, x minus beta, x minus delta, x minus gamma, and x minus delta. k into, and you can equate the coefficients of like powers of x from both sides, because your fx is a x to the power 4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e equal to k into x minus alpha dot 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 etc x minus delta. You can compare blah 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 blah. So you have alpha plus beta plus gamma plus delta. You know how I am getting these results. Already you have the knowledge of that, and you have the sum of the roots equal to sum of the zeros equal to minus b by a, and this is the product 2 taken at a time c by a, and this is product 3 taken at a time minus d by a, and the last one is sum product of the roots e by a. So that was the full polynomial concept. And what about the zeros? How to draw the diagrams for the polynomials, linear polynomials, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial, biquadratic polynomial, and what is the power if the leading coefficient is greater than 0, what will happen? If the leading coefficient is less than 0, what will happen? Especially we are talking about the quadratic polynomial and the roots and the relations, different relations. Okay.